Your approach seems to be a lot better when you combine the creativity factor, and it's one that not necessarily will benefit somebody at an older age, but somebody at any age. And as you get
Any
older, you
age.
continue to do that. And
Any
it
age.
also, some of the things you mentioned, it really hammers home the point of retirement and people who retire. You see this over and over again. They retire within a couple of years.
They
They
die.
die. They got
Yeah, they
nothing
die.
to live for. The
So
brain shuts down. Body shuts down.
I haven't said this. So all this neuroscience that I base my shit on, and I ran a couple of really wild experiments and whatever. But like the neuroscience, there's 30 years. So there's a guy named Daniel Levitin who's a neuroscientist at McGill University. You probably read he wrote a famous book, This Is Your Brain on Music. He wrote another book called The Organized Mind, which is amazing. And he wrote another book called Successful Aging. And it's an 800-page book. It's all the gritty detail and all the same science I'm talking about. He sort of really breaks down in a lot of detail. But he's like, peak performance aging in a single sentence: don't retire. That's his. Don't retire. It's sort of the death knell for the brain, right? And this is sort of one of the things that we discovered is it really helps to have a mission. For peak performance aging, if all that, I gave you that big long sentence, but they're all pointing in the same direction, and you're using, like, my mission was to learn how to park ski. That was my mission. But those kinds of missions are incredibly sort of, they're useful over time, and their older adults are better at them. They're sort of designed for like these long-term missions, like for whatever reason, they're very beneficial. So we're sort of built for it. And I just find it's a great way to drive focus, and it's a great way to like stop yourself from quitting and, all that stuff.
Just real quickly on what you just said, the missions thing. So is it just like, as you get older, it's good to have multiple missions in your life, like over and over again. Once you complete a mission after, like, say 2 years, 5 years, whatever it takes, a year, you come up with something else, because like you need that to sustain you.
Yeah, I think it's really important. I'm a bit said earlier that we were talking about meaning, and like so missions, those kind of missions, they folds right into sort of what we mean by meaning also. And so it works to our advantage. But for me, it came out of my career as a journalist where I started to notice that, like, you gave me an assignment, and man, I'd go to a war zone. I would sail with pirates through months. I would do the craziest, dumbest, most insane stuff because you gave me a mission. Right? Like, I was making it back in the day, like 25 cents a word. You gave me a mission, right? Like, I'm going to go to a war zone for 25 cents a word. Like, what? But I did, right? And there's something about like our mentality. We're goal-directed creatures, humans are. And so we're sort of built for those kinds of missions in a sense. And I just try to take advantage of that internal machinery. But it really, like, it grew out of this like thing I noticed with journalism, where I was like, oh my God, I will go so much farther if you just give me a mission. So I started trying to wrap these hard things I was trying to accomplish inside of that kind of thinking for this very reason.
Yeah, I actually think that having a mission, having a purpose is one of the biggest reasons why so many kids growing up, like in their teenage, especially teenagers, when they start to get into trouble, like that's one of the biggest reasons why they have their life all screwed up. That's why the biggest reason why all these people go to jail at a certain age and they commit crime and they, get thrown back into jail and they can't figure their life out. It's because they don't have that mission, whether it was missing a mentor or, a parent, whatever it is. It's a big part of who we are as human beings. And when we don't have that, we're really lacking just a purpose and, what to do with ourselves.
Yeah. And I cover this in Art Impossible, and we definitely don't have time. So this is just a teaser for the book. But like, there's something in the book called The Passion Recipe that teaches us how we turn curiosity into passion and passion into purpose. Because there's biology, like we are better when we have a purpose. There's, so much, and it's a flow trigger, right? Want more flow in your life? When we have a purpose, we focus way more on what we're doing, right? So the end result of a purpose is more flow, which is peak performance. You get farther towards your purpose, and it's this sort of virtual cycle.